Okay, we're back, and I think that my mic is actually hooked up now. It was not before. So I think we're good to go. Today I'm going to do another sort of like a live lesson type thing, stream. Maybe I'll edit it later, but hopefully I'll kind of nail this on the first try. We'll see. And then, or maybe I'll just have to edit it in YouTube Studio or something like that. Anyway, today I really want to talk about how I've been messing with the EP series. These are a lot of techniques that I played around with on the EP-133, and I'm now applying to the EP-40 Riddim. So I'm not going to be limiting myself to the KO2 techniques while I'm making this pattern, but for the like improv performance stuff, it's all going to be the same. It's all going to apply. And before I even get started, I'll make the distinction between improvising and performance, which would be when I'm talking about improv stuff, I mean taking what you currently have and then adding a variation and evolving it. Whereas when I'm talking about performance, I mean more like taking one pattern and then throwing in punch-in effects, looping part of it, changing how that pattern's played, but not like committing that to the device's memory or anything like that. So those are kind of the distinction I'm making, and I've been working a lot on both of those skills. So I'll just talk about what I've learned. But first, I'm just going to go ahead and chill out for a bit. I'm going to make a pattern. And then from there, I'll let you know when I'm at the spot where it's like, okay, let's take this one scene pattern and start actually improvising. So we're going to start going over the tips and tricks. Let me make sure that my outline is nice and handy. Here we go. So I don't have an outline for the actual like beat making or anything. Don't worry. It's not going to be that stiff of a video, but let's go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and follow their outline where the drums are in group A, bass is in group B, and the keys are in group C. So we're going to go ahead and go from here. And yeah, feel free to chat, talk for a little bit. Right now, yeah, I'm just going to be making this pattern for a little bit, hanging out. It might take a good 5-10 minutes, and then I'll get into the tips and tricks. So feel free to ask questions in the meantime, whatever. And watch me say that all and then just like nail it immediately and have no problem. Let's see. Actually, let's not start with the drums. Let's start with some keys or something, or some sort of loop or something. That's kind of interesting. Oh, let me mute them. That's good. I didn't realize I was hearing myself out of the monitors. Glad it didn't feedback or something. That doesn't sound like the key I want to be in, so I'm going to go ahead and change the scale. I guess it's the right key, but not whatever. That sounded kind of interesting enough. Let's see how that sounds. It's cutting off a bit, so what I'll do is I'm going to go into sound edit mode and I'll just I'll go to the envelope page and I'll increase the release. Or, if it's going to be annoying like that, let's just change the sound type to one shot. Or maybe it's just never mind, it's just a short sample, that's fine. Let's send it to the effects. Let's try it at a different octave. Did it not register the tuning difference? There we go. Nope, let's take that out. Let's put a high pass filter on this. Okay, yeah, we're just going to have a big high-pass filter on this. We won't even have to go to the FX yet. Let's just start adding in some bass. And like I said, this is just going to be me kind of getting the pattern ready for just like having one pattern and then showing you how I would build and improvise on that and evolve it, and then show you some of the tips of how I would then like perform an individual scene or something like that. So this is all just stuff I'm practicing for my own sake. But yeah, hopefully you find it helpful. So this is our starting point. Yeah, let's go ahead and continue with that bass. Let's turn on our metronome. That could be kind of interesting to have it be this sort of a darker tone. Oh, crash. As a heads up, if you enter system mode while the sequencer's running, that's always like a risk. Which makes some sense. It's like, it's pretty demanding what I'm doing on it. What'd you call me? Oh, here we go. I'll also increase some of the release on that bass sound too. Oh, it's already pretty high up there. That's fine. So let's add a low pass filter. And then I'll add some modulation here. So this group is sounding a bit loud, so I'll just change the level. And let's change this pad's pattern or pitch. Because I didn't like it before when it was higher pitched, but maybe with the modulation I'll like it more now. And yeah, let's take some of that high pass filter off. I guess we don't need it at all technically. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and say that I think that we might have enough to get started with. I'm not totally sure on that. Maybe I'll give it a little bit longer to figure out if I want to do anything slightly different. I'm going to commit this one just in case I want to come back to it. And then I'm going to, from here, and this is kind of like the improv process in slow-mo. I'm going to go back through and be like, okay, what can I erase that? I tend to overplay a lot, especially when there aren't that many layers, and I won't leave space. So for me, having the technique of being able to erase everything that's in a certain group is pretty helpful. And I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, let's start with scene 2 here. This is good enough for me. So this is officially where we are starting, like the lesson-y part of it, kind of. I'm going to take probably a few more hits of this, honestly, then I'm going to put it away so it's not distracting me anymore. But I'm going to talk about the improv techniques, specifically like how helpful it can be to commit a lot, which is what you were just seeing at least a brief bit of. And then I'm going to talk about erasing notes, which I also just showed a little bit of. Some of these faders, like specifically the tack and the release fader, can be really interesting. And then using timing and timing correct to evolve the pattern. So I'm going to take it from here to somewhere very different. I'll probably change the tempo along the way. I will probably pause occasionally and just do a bunch of looping or whatever. I guess that's once we're in the performance section, huh? So actually, man, do I want to reverse this? I might reverse this. No, I'm not going to reverse this. Okay, let's do this. Let's just turn this off. I'm trying to get PAX to sponsor me because I'll bet you this thing's on its last legs, and I wouldn't mind getting one of the new things from them. So I use it a lot, and right now I'm working as like a bud tender in a cannabis dispensary, so it's not like a super weird or like a super rebellious thing I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get stuff. But also, like, I've been using their stuff for years and years, so this is kind of a promo for them, similar to like TE stuff. Not exactly a promo, but I'm just like admitting like, yeah, this is product placement, very, very much so. You can always check the like tags in my videos, and that's usually going to show you if there's like any sort of like product placement going on. Not the reason I got into videos. I got into videos to teach, but you know, might as well take advantage of it, especially if you're someone like, especially after you leave a nice paying office job and start a minimum wage job, which is what I've done. On that note, maybe I should turn on super likes. I'm just kidding. So let's go ahead and actually start going over the improv side. So scene 2 is going to be our starting point. And so what I'll do here is I'm going to just commit. And let's start adding in other elements. I don't have a sound on this pad yet. Let's go there. So I'm going to use timing mode for this. I just enabled recording. And so timing mode is helpful because it'll keep you on time, and you can just hold it down and press the pad, and it's velocity sensitive. So there's a lot of, or pressure sensitive. So there's a lot of stuff that has. Oh, and then you hit the wrong pad. That's kind of hilarious. I guess I stopped it at one point though. Cool. And I guess I'll just go through and let this erase the entire time. Because I did not mean to put anything on that track. Now here's one technique. Let's say that I want to take this hi-hat sound and just make it half as frequent. I could go to timing, change it to 8, or actually let's just change it to 8th note triplets. Hold down timing correct, or hit shift in timing. And now our beat's already kind of evolving. So this is how I would use timing correct, is that if you just start applying it to things, you might be surprised how often it, I don't know, just changes changes the beat pretty quickly. Let's commit this. I don't know. I usually don't commit quite this much, but let's just do it. This time I think I might just do straight 8th notes on the hi-hat. Maybe I'll also include like a open hi-hat or something like that. And then we'll start going and like evolving the other patterns and stuff. Like we're not gonna have the same bass line the whole time, hopefully. So, but these are just ways that I could evolve it live. So let's go ahead and take the bass out for a bit, at least for this pattern. We're on 5, and let's just say the next one will have this change to being the 8th note triplets. And so this is intentionally kind of sounding wonky, so I would think this would be kind of like a transitional thing or something. And actually, let me erase that scene that I just copied to. And my reason for that, oh, does the sequencer have to be stopped? I guess so. My reason for that is that I think if I'm going to have it kind of return to where it was at before, I'm going to want to copy like scene 3 or commit scene 3. So cool. So other tricks that we could do here, for the sake of like improv and variation, like, okay, let's, I'm trying to think the best way to do this. I've covered what I meant to cover, but I don't necessarily love how I covered it. So I think what I might actually do in this case is I may jump to the performance side of things and then jump back to the improv side of things. In fact, I am sort of tempted to just, let's not start over, but let's just hang out on this pattern for a bit. Actually, let's hang out on this one for a bit so I can talk about some of the performance techniques, because you can really do a lot with just something as simple as this. And then from there, you could commit it and then start doing the sort of editing that I've been doing. Let's go ahead and actually just, will it clone the scene to scene like 20 if I go to, or, yeah, let's just try it. Nope. I obviously could just like copy and paste the different, actually, yeah, let's do that. So let's go to 3. Oh wait, so we already know what it is, huh? So this is just going to be 3, 3, 3, and 3. Okay, so let's just talk about the most obvious one, which would be the punching effects. That's holding down FX and hitting any of these pads. I will say the one pad I almost always avoid is 2. And that's because it's going to slow down the tempo and actually stop it if you hold it hard enough. And that can throw everything off and throw the group off. And that might be your intention, but if it's not, you really want to avoid this. So the ones that I would say I like the most are right here, 1, which is going to do a little bit of a looping effect. And if you push it hard, it'll go faster. And at this point, if I have my finger on this, I can let go of FX. And so if I really wanted to, let's see if this would work. Can I just actually, holding FX and pressing one of these groups is going to solo it. So I wonder if I could just solo the drums while still having this loop. Sounds like it. So you can combine a bunch of these techniques. And in a lot of cases, if you let go of whatever button you initially had to hold, it'll continue like holding that button basically. So soloing groups by holding FX and then pressing those group pads. You can solo just one pattern, one pad, or one or more pads by holding shift in those pads. So FX and 1 of my favorite ones. Another one of my favorites is going to be FX and 7. And that's going to, what is it? I don't remember the name of that effect, but it basically like will just mute it. It's almost like a tremolo effect kind of. And then we can combine that if we wanted to with what we know about holding FX in the different groups. Another one of my favorites is 9, which we couldn't really hear there, but it's a bit crusher. Pitch will change the pitch around, which is kind of fun, or can be fun at least. We've got, and like I said, 2 is not my favorite because you're going to have to really pay attention to where you're at. And if I stop it like that, I feel like my best bet is to try to let go and hold shift and press play to restart the pattern whenever I'm ready for it to restart, because now I have no idea where the beat is. So that's one way of handling that sort of thing. Let's change the tempo. Let's go faster. That's fun. Let me change the volume of that hi-hat pad. Change the pitch maybe. Okay. Okay, so this is obviously these melodies and stuff are getting a bit old, but my point here is actually just to spend a lot of time here showing you like how you could do just basic variations. Let me pull up my outline really quick to see if I'm forgetting anything. I talked a bit about erasing notes. We could just continue down that route though. Oh wait, I forgot. We're on the performance side. So punch-in effects I covered, soloing groups and pads I covered. I have not yet covered looping though, which is a really interesting part of it. It loops part of the sequence, and so you can hear that the bass is not playing here because it's not repeating that MIDI note. But if I think I could just press minus and it'll move the sequence backward. And so now we can hear that bass note starting to play. The Y knob is going to adjust how long the loop is. So we could also make it. Yeah, I didn't do that one too well, but I'm still trying to get the hang of using loop mode. But what I think it has a lot of potential with it is if we let's just pretend like we're making a separate pattern after this, but we're just going to loop the first part of this. In a different pitch. We can even put a bit of a low pass filter on there. Maybe add some of the crunchiness of the bit crusher, and then change to a high pass filter. This whole last row, this bottom row, is all pretty awesome punch-in effects. This one kind of stutters or just repeats notes. This one, I don't know exactly what it's doing, but it's changing a few things. And then down here, tune seems to kind of randomize it a bit. That's too much. So that's why I try to be a little bit more intentional about it. And so it can be nice if we know, okay, I can just let go of that. If I wanted to, I could just hold on to these. I could just solo one group. And then just press main or sound or enter any other mode to exit loop mode. One mistake I often make is I'll try to press loop again to exit it. And that just seems to throw me off way more. And so like I said, being able to hit that shift and play really quick is pretty helpful. Just because if you're able to hit that on time, then you're able to restart the beat on time whenever you want. And I found that to be helpful for not feeling like I'm totally throwing myself off as I'm making something up. So that's probably all that I'm really going to talk about in terms of the performance side of things. That's most of what I've been playing with in terms of like soloing groups, soloing pads, doing punch-in effects, combining all those and using loop mode or using the loop function. So that's a lot of what I do in terms of that side of things, like actually in the moment, not recording this improv type stuff or performance type stuff. But let's talk about how I would then take this pattern, which I have as scene 20 here, and how would I evolve this? How would I make it so that we are at a different point at the end? And I am going to change the tempo, which is kind of cheating, but whatever. But let's just go ahead and take what I have now, and let's try to make something that takes you from point A to point B. And I don't know what point B is, but I know that we are at point A, and we will find it when we get there. Playing with different timing and timing corrects to see how that affects the snare. And my real plan here, though, is to gradually introduce snares on different hits. And one way you could do that is just by sequencing this pad here. I'm going to change the timing to give myself a bit more room for error, but sequencing a pad that has no sound on it. So that's what I'll be doing here. So then what I'll do is I'm going to then assign a pad to the sound, or a sound to the pad. So now we're in somewhere slightly different just because that we're in that half time. But I have not evolved the bass and I have not evolved the melody. So let's go ahead and actually get to that. I think it's just because I'm mostly comfortable doing this just completely on my own with that part of it. So this may take a few tries before I find something I like, and that is the name of the game. Yeah, that's, oh crap, I'm trying not to stop the sequencer, but I always do. Then just to do a 4 on the floor, I'll set this to 4, and I'll timing correct my kick. So now everything is as close as it's going to get to that, and now we can actually add the 4 on the floor the whole time. Oh yeah, I guess you can also change the BPM knob. Let's add an open hat there. So this is also part of the improv process, is leaving a lot of pads open for myself, so that way I don't have to, so that way I can put different patterns and sounds there as I go through. Oh, are we still on the triplets? Oh no, that's very funny. There we go. Actually start to evolve this then. Oh man, I haven't even done this. I didn't change this scene too much. I mean, I didn't yet commit it. Oops. Okay. So I'm using the erase pretty heavily. I could have used the group erase, whatever. I'm going to find a different sound again. And let's use one of the onboard skanks or whatever. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not feeling that. I'll use one of the loops I have. Oh no, let's not do that. Let's cheat even more. Let me, oh crap, I didn't mean to replace that pad. That's so funny. Which one was it on? I think it was that. Yeah, okay, good. Oh, so we can't cut off a note by using erase. That's interesting, but good to know. I think I've covered basically everything I really wanted to cover, which was just committing, like, so to just review it again, for performance, I wanted to cover punch and effects, soloing groups and pads, the loop function, and then combining all of those, and especially being able to like let go of the effects button or let go of the, specifically letting go of the effects button to be able to do other things at the same time, like setting loop mode, and then also being able to hit shift and play. So that way you can restart right when you want to and start the beat over. And then I went over some improv techniques, and specifically, I didn't do that well this time, but committing more often so that way it's not a big deal to erase a lot of notes. Going through and erasing groups or notes as you're working. I went over using timing correct to change the rhythm. You could also I could have also added in some swing there if I wanted to introduce some swing. I also went over, I didn't really go over the faders a ton. So let me just talk about that real brief. Let me just commit this one, and let's say that, I'll just copy that pattern and, okay. So let's talk about how I might use like the attack and release here. This could sound pretty varied by comparison. If I just record a bit of fader automation on the first step. So let's just make it so that the attack is slow. So now it's there. I could pitch it up. And actually we probably want to write that to the first step. Maybe on the first step we'll change the level too. So it's there, but it's not exactly there. Another thing for performance mode that I almost forgot is holding down the different pads, because this will take out the bass for every single scene. It's going to erase everything, or not erase, but mute everything in this group. Not every MIDI note, but it's going to erase all the audio from the samples in this group. It's going to erase all, or it's going to mute all of the audio samples that are playing in that group. Which will make it so that you now have another way of varying things. And yeah, I mean, I think that's basically all I wanted to cover. I have no sense for how long I've been streaming for. 33 minutes, not bad. Hopefully some people found this pretty helpful. I'm going to probably edit this later. I think I got enough content here. Let me know, maybe I won't edit it, we'll see, but let me know if there's anything I didn't cover. Go ahead and like leave a comment or something like that, because I won't be able to see the chat soon. Yeah, let me know what else I ought to cover, or what I might have missed, or whatever, or what you want to recommend. And thanks so much for watching, and yeah, see you next time.